It's time for another review. Hello everyone, thanks once again for tuning into the channel. So in this video we are going to be taking a look at the Knight by Gaslight, better known as the Batman Gotham by Gaslight. This is made by SSR, and this was a figure that it's not really a licensed figure from DC or anything like that. So this is just a third-party company that decided to do this. SSR is known for doing some really good other DC characters. They're also known for using a pretty big body as well for some of this, which from what I've seen it's no different here. The body is pretty big. So before we jump into it, let's take a look at the style of the box, which as you can see there's a pretty good design all around for it. That's a good logo right there on the side. Same thing for the opposite side, and then of course you have all your information that's on there. So let's go ahead and take a look at the figure and see how well this guy came out. From what I've seen, I've only seen just a few pics online or whatever, so this is all new to me, and this is my first SSR figure as well, so I was pretty excited to see this and everything. I have a number of different Batman figures. I just like the unique styles that when DC decides to change things up, we get a chance to see just Batman in a different light. So this is the figure, and I gotta say I'm already liking the material of the figure, because just based off the material you can say like, yeah, you can really get some dynamic poses with this. I believe these are real leather for the boots, because they definitely feel it. They don't feel like any kind of cheap plastic leather or whatever. This really feels like real leather for the boots, so that is a plus. You don't have to worry about anything deteriorating over time. It's also leather for these areas here, and a split for where the hand and the other part of the glove is, so that's pretty nice as well. But yeah, these definitely feel like they're real leather material for that, so that is an absolute plus, because again, you have to worry about anything deteriorating over time. So this will be a pretty good figure. But yeah, range of motion looks pretty good. You definitely get to get some pretty good poses with that, which is really good. And as you can see, the fabric actually gives with that, so that is an absolute plus. So you can kind of leave your poses with this figure, and you do not have to deal with any kind of wear on the materials over time. You also get a series of hands with the figure. So you get this hand here. This gripping hand looks like it's for like his grapple gun. So you get that hand. Then you get a relaxed hand. You get one of each. Obviously a pair of fists, which what you see it comes with the figure. Let's see, this hand here. So you have one kind of gripping hand, and I believe this particular one, this is not the same one. This is a hand for like holding one of the batarangs. So you get that you don't get two of. You just get one for holding the batarang, and then you have one just gripping hand. Both of these are the same ones, so you get two of those. So then there's the daggers that you get, which these are plastic. They're not metal, but they are pretty pointy. So that's nice, and there's some really good detail as far as the handle. But yeah, this is not any metal. This is actual plastic. You also get a second head sculpt. So you can take a look at this. So you kind of get a angry face, but as you can see, they've removed the eyes there. So you just get the plain white eyes, but it's pretty good on the angry face. I will say that the skin tone, I mean, as you can see just from my lighting, and I kind of wanted to highlight a little bit more, you can see the skin looks a little pale for that. I mean, the paint application is good, but just the tone that they use for the flesh is pretty pale. So that's That's kind of a setback for, I mean, when you do your photography, you do your lighting, you can kind of play around with that to where it still looks, you know, still looks okay. But just in comparison, like if you want to have them next to another type of figure or whatever, you'll see the difference in the skin tone when you put them side by side. So here's the tray beneath that you get. So you have your display base. I guess they're trying to make it look like it's some concrete area, so that's what you get, and then you have Batman there on the front. But yeah, this is your generic stand. You got your SSR logo on the bottom. So you have that. This is his grapple gun. So that's actually some pretty good detail in that. So you can see like it's, you know, kind of a wood. I mean, it is nice detail, but again, just from looking at it, you can tell it has a plastic look to it, as opposed to really liking some wood. It would have been nicer if it was, you know, just colored a little different. But you can pretty much get the idea that it's supposed to be wood in these areas and then metal in these areas, and this would be like where the where you have the coil lined up so where it can shoot out. Speaking of shooting out from the front, you do get this one piece here for the actual grapple, and that is magnetic, so you just put it right in there and it stays. So that's pretty good. And then these open up, so that's a pretty good piece. Nice detail in it. I do like the fact that it's metal, so that's pretty nice detail. And I also like the fact that it's magnet, so you don't worry about trying to put something in and eventually it falls out or anything like that. It's got a magnet in there, so it'll definitely stay and it'll hold. So so that's a nice touch. So you have those, and you have a series of batarangs, two different types. So you have this, and they're, again, they are plastic. They are not metal. As you can see, they're kind of flimsy as well. You can kind of bend them a little bit. So this is definitely plastic, and you can see the the paint application. If you look real close, you can kind of see like the blotches of paint in certain areas of it. But you know, it's okay. It is what it is. So you get 3 of those. Then you get this kind, which actually I think is a lot better. Has more detail in it. But you have these. These are pretty nice. Again, they are also plastic. But again, they have some really nice detail in it. So unfortunately, these, as you can see, I'll show you here, even though it has the holes, they do not match up. So you can kind of get the thumb in that hole there, but as far as the rest of the fingers, they do not fit in that. So you wouldn't be able to get the hand in, get the fingers in each one of the holes, unfortunately. So so that's kind of the downside to it. But you know, it's okay. It is what it is. It's totally fine. So we had it in a separate bag that it came with. I just kind of pulled it out when I was getting out the box. But you can see the detail in the cape that it comes with. It has a little chain there on the front there, and it has these little clasps that hook onto the figure, so we'll be able to button those in. I did see online that there were some people say that they had some problems with theirs where the part was kind of broken off, but mine are all intact, thankfully, so there's no issues with that. But the material of this, again, it also feels like it's a leather material. I'm not sure that it is, though. I believe perhaps just around here. If it is, it's just a very, very thin leather. But I don't believe it is. I believe this is just a regular fabric to it. But still, it kind of gives that appearance that it's a leather material. But it flows really nice. There's no wire. However, there's a wire here that you have around the collar there. So there's a wire there. But that's pretty much the only area where there's a wire. There's no wire in anywhere else. But yeah, again, it's still, overall, it's still a nice nice cape, and we're gonna set it up right now so you can see just how it drapes over the figure, because it does drape pretty nice. So let's go ahead and get that out so you can take a look at the figure. Okay, so here we have the Gotham by Gaslight Batman all set up with the cape around him, and as you can see, it comes around nicely. Like literally it drapes down over the arms. If you wanted to, you can pull it back and have it go behind him, and it'll hold nicely. So you can put him in that you know, any kind of pose where you want him to look like he was fighting and you want to have that behind him. And then if you wanted to bring it back around, you can bring it back around. This is really, really nice. It would have been, again, it would have been nice if there was maybe some wires somewhere in there, but that's only, you know, just minor nitpicks if you wanted to have something like that. I know some people would like to put him in some poses. I mean, for me, that's the reason why I wanted to have a figure, a 1/6 scale figure, so I can change poses whenever I want. So it would have been nice to have some wire in it. But again, that's something minor. It is nice because you don't always see Batman figures that come with capes where you can drape them over, because that's one of the signature things that he does. So this is a nice touch that you were able to pull it over. It connects through 3 clasps. There's one here, and then there's one on the back behind the neck to hold it in place so it doesn't move or slide up whenever he's moving around. So that's pretty smart to have both of them in the 3 points so that it will stay during the poses. So that's really nice. One other feature I forgot to mention that the figure came with, the piece kind of fell out somewhere, so I didn't see it, but he has these little goggles that he comes with. So it has some good detail in that. So I'm not really going to be using this too much on the figure, because this is one of those materials where just over the course of time, when you have it stretch, eventually the elastic will give and it'll just stay in that permanent position. That actually happened to me for my Hot Toys Batman, the Nightmare Batman. Same thing, you have it for a while, the elastic just starts to give. So I probably will only use this for the sake of just, you know, using it for photos or, you know, something like that. But I would not have it on a permanent display. But it does look nice having it on the head. And then you can just bring it down over the eyes. And that's a good look. That's a really good look. So overall, I would say this is definitely a good figure, makes great for photos. Just to give you some comparisons as well, as far as size is concerned, this is the Sideshow Batman. And as you can see, just as far as the height, I'm sorry, let me put it side by side so you can see. He's definitely taller than the figure. Also, just to look like the size of the biceps on this character as opposed to the size of the arms on Sideshow's version, you know, it just looks significantly smaller. But again, I like the fact that, you know, both of these characters have their capes draped over, which is just one of those signature looks that you would like to see. So it's cool to have that. So you have the Sideshow Batman, and then the other one I want to kind of compare them to so you can see is this is the, oh, can I get him to stand there? There you go. This is the Hot Toys Arkham Knight Batman. I would say as far as this one, the Hot Toys Arkham Knight is just slightly taller, but really only by the ears. The head sculpts, they're pretty much the same size, but still overall I'd say it's a you know, a pretty good figure. Both of these figures are big and bulky, but again, as far as range of motion, I definitely give it to Gotham Gaslight Batman just because of the outfit that he has, and this is just a little more stiff. But in terms of size, yeah, it's definitely, I'd say roughly around the same size with just slightly bigger ears. So yeah, but overall I think this is a really good figure. I think SSR did a great job with it. Definitely photogenic. So it's really cool just overall, and just so you can see just how much you can stretch out that cape there. That's actually pretty nice setup. So yeah, it's definitely overall a good figure. I like the fact that again it has leather material, so that's a good plus for this figure. So yeah, so there we have it. So that's the Gotham Knight of Gaslight by SSR. The figure is great. So let's go ahead and jump into some photos of the figure. I'll take this time now to thank you once again for tuning in to the channel. Thank you for purchasing the Toytography magazine. We've been doing really well with that. And thank you for also joining in for our Toytography Live. We have that show going on right now every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Pacific. So again, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for all of your support for the channel. And we'll see you in the next video.